Welcome then to the brand part, your school book, as we like to call it. So this is the manual that you need to get, the school book, which should have arrived with your therapist guide. And personally, I think that this is probably a good place to start, but it's one that you can happily do at home, or just not even watch, put in some earphones, listen to the audio and look at the manual. Because really what this is about is the top level brand elements and what you need to know about Pink's Boutique. It's not the physical training yet, but it is a great place to start. We are off to school, so pop your names on the front. Class, you can put Pink's Boutique Enlightenment. This is our step into working out what this is all about. Okay, find then for me section 1. This is an explanation about how Pink's Boutique happened, really. There's 2 photos. One is a school, and then the other one underneath, the guy with the ball, is Luke. That's my husband and other founder of Pink's Boutique. So we met at Oxford. We were studying and doing our degrees there, and when I left, I became a beauty therapist, which probably wasn't the most typical route out of Oxford, but being a management consultant or a banker or a lawyer, I was just like, no thank you. And really quickly got involved in teaching. So my first businesses were Pink's Academy, which that is the picture, and they were standalone independent training schools which taught people everything from MVQ 2, 3, all the base beauty training, all the way through all additional add-ons. And really crucially, is that I point out, and the next bit on your manual says acrylic nail queen. The thing I did most of in this section of my career was acrylic, gel, tanning, lashes. I was doused in chemicals and acrylic liquids and not remotely a green fairy with wings. And it was actually Luke's world, and this is why he gets a photo slot in the manual. He left university and signed a professional rugby contract and played for 7 or 8 years in the Premiership and then in the Championship. So he played for Harlequins for a very long time. And it was his world that actually bizarrely got us into organic. So they had someone arrive in the early 2000s, a nutritionist, fitness coaches who completely organic them. And the difference it made to them in terms of really obvious things like how quick they were over 10 meters or how high they could jump was really astounding, and literally made me start to question the fact that I love bottles and boxes, just like all therapists do, and your brand arrives and they teach you the 3 key ingredients, but did I actually know what the other 50, 60 things were listed in the bottle? And turned out the answer was no, I didn't. And that was being a professional therapist, but not only that, I was teaching, and I was teaching 1,500 students a year. And it was my huge wake-up call to really start trying to research and understanding ingredients. And as soon as I went into Pandora's box, the whole thing just tumbled down around me, and I got to the point where I didn't have any products to use. And that really, in truth, was how Pink's Boutique came into being. So in that notes box, I would just write in there, Kirsty, with an IE, I'm a difficult Kirsty. If you write equals outside, so I'm like the outside influence of Pink's Boutique, the therapist, the massage, the ingredients, the facials, all of the kind of outer version of beauty. Whereas if you write Luke, he is essentially the inside. So his entire rugby career was based in nutrition and supplements and sports psychology and complete well-being internally. And so if you put him as the inside, and we've taken this a step further with our new launch men's brand, which is Proverb, which really is a complete collision of those 2 things as well. So that really is for you to understand our journey. And the one time I think this is really useful is if you get men in the spa or salon who are normally not that confident of being there, then it is worth mentioning that a professional rugby player made these products, because it kind of says it's really alright to be sitting at our manicure bar. And just remember that people with social media, people like authenticity, people like knowing where the product has come from and what that story is. So feel free to talk to your clients about it. Turn over then for me into section 2. And what I would do is I would keep and look at these 2 pages together so that you can see all of them. These 2 pages are about natural and organic completely, not about our brand. When I started to research this, it was a complete minefield trying to work out what natural and organic were. And what these pages are basically the answer. It is the shortcut version. So, in your definitions, if you look at the first one that says organic, and right by the side of that one for me in capitals, grown. To be an organic product, an ingredient, you have to be grown. You have to be cultivated by a human being, and the soil has to be chemical, pesticide, fertilizer free. Okay? So when I say chemical, I mean synthetic chemicals or any sort of toxic chemicals. Remember, the word chemical is not evil. Water is chemical, you are chemical, I'm all chemical. We're not evil. So just be careful of banding the word chemical about like it's a terrible thing. So to be organic, you have to be grown. And that's the thing a lot of people don't understand. Jump past organic cosmetics and go to the third one down, which says natural, and highlight this means existing or caused by nature, not man-made. Pretty simple. Okay. Where this gets interesting is in the next one, natural cosmetic. Now, to use the word natural on a bottle, you can have any percentage of natural in there. There is no current regulation or control of that. So that percentage could go from 2% natural to 100% natural. But the bottle will look the same, and it will say natural, and it will have flowers and etc. That's where it gets really dodgy. Now, it's the same with organic. You could put the word organic, you could go home tonight, mix up a pot of cream in your kitchen, put 2% organic real lavender in there, fill the rest with petrochemicals, and sell it off to department stores and spas, and nobody will stop you. And if you go to a branding agency and you make it look white and leafy and use words botanical and plant extracts, you're away. You have an organic brand. It is unbelievably poorly regulated, and this is what you need to get your head around first. So lesson 1, you might want to write these in the margin. 1, natural and organic are different. They are not the same. Number 2, natural and organic are not regulated in beauty. They are in food, but you can put whatever you like basically and have whatever limited percentages of natural and organic on there. Okay. So the question down after that says, can I trust natural on beauty bottles? No. Basically no. And then this one is crucial. Can every ingredient be organic? No. We said it has to be grown. So there are certain things in the world, like water, like Dead Sea salt, vitamin E is in the list as well, that are 100% natural, but because a human being didn't cultivate and grow them and control the soil, they cannot go in your organic percentage. What I would do is grab a Pink's Boutique bottle at this point, because what you will see is you've got the P and you've got the title and the name. You can see underneath that it will say made with and a percentage of organic ingredients. If you are doing this truthfully, you have to list the percentage. So my cleanse melt here has 87% organic. So that means 87% of that pot was grown on organic controlled soil, and the missing 13% is natural. What we won't do and can't do is use any synthetic ingredients in that percentage. Okay? So Natural and organic, not the same. There is very limited control. To be organic, you have to be grown. Not everything can be organic. And the last one, do you have to get a certification badge? Which leads us nicely onto this second side. These logos here are all different certification boards. So, by Soil Association, if you put the UK, by USDA Organic, the US, by EcoCert, France, BDIH, Germany. Most major countries have a different certification board for genuinely proving that a beauty product is organic. But you don't have to do this. Pink's Boutique have chosen to do this. It's a massive process. It's a huge yearly audit. They check every single ingredient from the ground to your bottle. It might be nice to write at the top, soil to bottle or farm to face. There's two nice ways of explaining it to your client. The other bonus, being sarcastic by the way, is that for the pleasure of that, they also take a percentage of our annual yearly profit. So they're like another VAT man. But it is the only way to really know. So you need to start looking out for these badges, but particularly for the Soil Association. The Soil Association is the UK body, and in a good way, they are the strictest, flat out the strictest globally. So if we can get that badge, we can pretty much get any of them. Can you write by the side of that logo 70%, 70. For them to give you the logo to go on an individual beauty bottle, 70% minimum of that bottle has to be organic, and the other 30% can be natural. And remember, the reason they'll let you do that is, for instance, if you wanted a cream emulsion, you've got to have water in there to make cream. And water is not grown, it's produced by the world, so that bit is not natural. So that's why your percentages differ. And when you look through your Pink's Boutique range on the shelf, you will find those percentages will literally go from 70 to 100, depending on the formulation and what that blend is. So you need to be able to respond to a client who has beady eyes and looks at a pot and says, it's 84%. What's the other percentage? You need to then be able to say, oh, interestingly, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, nobody understands, but to be organic, you have to be grown. Water, for instance, if you put any water in a pot, is only natural, and that's where the percentages differ. And it starts to make you realise you don't often see those percentages, and nobody often tells you what I have just told you, and it's because they're fundamentally not telling the truth. So percentages on organic bottles are a good thing. It means someone is being transparent, and the Soil Association logo means there is a third-party audit. Now, there is a little space at the bottom that says doodles. Can you write in here, natural, farmer can put anything into the soil, whereas organic, the soil is completely controlled. So really this all comes down to what goes into the soil. So write soil in big capitals. People don't think about this, about beauty products, but it is no different to food. Like, how they're grown infects the integrity of the ingredient and fundamentally affects what ends up in your bloodstream. So organic soil is harder to come by, there's less of it, it essentially becomes the elite version. So can you also write there, organic equals 1, healthy, and that's how most people talk to you about it. So they talk about the health benefits and reducing toxins that go into your bodies and pesticides. But can you write 2, elite? It is essentially the most elite grown version of that ingredient. And if you would like to go onto our YouTube channel, I've actually done a short video on the differences between natural and organic, and go through a little art class drawing you some trees. So that is probably worth going to. Turn over from your doodles into section 3. Section 3 is back to Pink's Boutique, and this is some key sentences that you can highlight and I can help explain what Pink's Boutique is about. So your first one says facial, body, manicure, pedicure, waxing, proverb for men, and pregnancy and baby en route. So as a brand, we want it to be complete, not just a small facial range like happens in organic quite a lot. We want it to be everything, because we know that to run a salon and spa, you need quite a lot of things. So we cover all of those entities. Spa expertise and born out of professional therapists is next. I think it doesn't take long with working with us to realise that one of the major differences is that we were therapists, we've had beauty schools, we train therapists, we help therapists make salons, we help them make spas, we still do all of that. We are very used to being in the forefront of your life, which is running a salon and spa, and that counts a lot from your brand and your brand owner. And it also links to the next part, that because of our schools, we talk about beyond 5-star treatments and real attention to detail and real trademark twists. And when you start going into the spa finishing school and all of the videos, hopefully this becomes apparent relatively quickly. We didn't want any second-class treatments. Everyone puts emphasis into face and body, whereas for us, manicure, pedicure and waxing are just as important. You get to a point in salons and spas where, apart from maybe the brand and the shape of the building, it's very hard to really differentiate from your competitors. You've all got lovely towels and slippers and fluffy blankets and therapists. I really think that the detail and the little twists are what are going to count most, and you will see that all throughout the spa finishing school. Moving on to the next side, it talks about multiple cultures. So you'll find that the treatments have a real influence from Asia, but also quite a lot of Western techniques as well. Then reaffirms your next paragraph, says third party audited by the Soil Association to prove that we're the highest grade global organic. Talk to your clients and talk about a third party, i.e. someone else that is telling the truth. Can you see this lovely little diagram? This is to represent soil to bottle, so that we've got full control of where those ingredients come from, the soil, so that you can make the best choices for your body. The brand, like Luke and I, talks about inside and outside concept. We're really truthful with people that the things they eat and drink are going to make as much difference, and they need to think about those elements in their mindset. Educators and tutors, that is now you. So one of the reasons that this brand is so strictly professional is because I want you to be able to educate and help your clients understand what I have in turn helped you understand. Leaving everyone enlightened, which is what it says next. And last but not least on there, truthful. Can you write at the bottom, nothing but the truth? This is the line we talk about in Pink's Boutique an awful lot. Truth counts. Truth will always win. Like, people know at the end of the day when someone is brutally truthful with them. And we'll be truthful always about ingredients, what's organic, what's not, sustainability, our packaging, just everything. That is what is required. Okay. Turning into your next section, section 4. Now, section 4 gives you an awesome set of promises. Few I want to highlight. The first one, 100% organic, is there as a quick test. Just remember, we have said not all of the bottles are 100% organic inside, but you'll see the little arrow, what we're checking that you've been following. 100% of our bottles are certified, but remember, the percentages will differ inside the bottle. We are free from petroleums, So any paraffin liquidums. The list down the side here, paraffin liquidum, mineral oil, petroleum jelly, paraffin liquid, that's how, all the same similar ingredient, that's how they would all list on an inky list. We don't use it. Some toxicity risk, but also the best case is that it's just cheap, inert, dead skincare. No parabens, 100% natural, gluten-free, soil association organic, no sodium lauryl sulfates, which are the irritating things which make bubbles, which we all love bubbles, but really irritating to skin. No genetic modification, all made in the UK, avoiding any cheap bulkers and fillers. Vegan, so by default it's all vegetarian as well. And then your little buddy on there, not tested on animals, and it also says not sold in China. If animal testing is important to you or to your clients, then they need to make sure the brand they're using is not sold in China, because it's still the one place where legally, even if you don't animal test here, you have to animal test when you go there. So kind of negates their whole not tested on animal ethos. Section 4 then is your logos, and those are the things that you want to be able to reel off to your clients. Move yourself into section 5. In this manual, what we are going to do on a few things is just put yourself a little code, which means bedtime reading, which essentially means you need to go and read those bits at home. Don't have to be in bed, but you get what I mean. So you can put bedtime reading on the top of section 5, both pages. It talks through the fact that we don't want you to eat, or you wouldn't eat or drink things that you just didn't know what they were. Why will you put them on your skin when product absorbs? Pop by the side there. Studies show, depending on what you read, between 20 to 70% of what goes on the skin absorbs. So genuinely, some of these ingredients you use in skincare will be going in. That's the whole point. It says your body deserves you to find out more. You have to accept that the beauty industry is not truthful, and you need to make strong, good choices for yourself. There is a little box at the bottom with a little Kirsty and Luke caricature, and it says eat pretty. One of the things I would love you to do is go and buy yourself a book. There is a book called Eat Pretty by a lady called Jolene Hart, and some of our spas and salons have been selling it as well alongside the products. It's an amazing book which teaches you per skin type and skin concern what you should eat and drink, and it's such an awesome accompaniment to our skincare ranges and such a confirmation of the truth of really to have incredible skin. It's about the inside and the outside. Section 6, again, put bedtime reading at the top. This lists some trends that our brand sits within. So made with love, the concept that it's not on a great machinery run, that we still have 4 ladies stirring, pouring the ingredients in, hand labeling them. It is handmade. That is very rare at the scale we are at, and it makes for incredible textures, and it also adds a real energy to that bottle. So that's what we mean by made in love. An integrated 360-degree approach, that's what we're talking about, the eating and drinking. Shorter shelf lives. So pop a note here. When things are made, they have between 12 to 24 months. Once they are opened, the vast majority go to 6 months. So they are shorter, but they're nowhere near as bad as people think in organic. But you need to make it a positive. You need to talk to someone and say, okay, you take a pot of X brand from X shop, which is bright white. You stick it in your bathroom, the most humid room you have in the house, stick dirty fingers in there twice a day, and in 36 months' time, it's still bright white. What is in there that's doing that? And do you want it on your face? I think the answer is no. Next one says clean eating, clean beauty. You may have seen there's so much on Instagram and social media about clean beauty. It is starting to become a huge phenomenon, and we are totally in the mix of it. Clean ingredients, clean beauty, matching that clean eating. It is a really interesting way in your salon spa to be dealing with this. Like, you'll have people already that are drinking green juices and eating avocados, like Jules eats hundreds of them, and really thinking about what they're eating. Like, it's the same, just match them up, get them that eureka moment, and you are away. And so will their skin. They'll have incredible skin and be part of your nothing but the truth, enlightened world. Section 7, housekeeping. Nuts. We do not have any nuts, just to keep life totally simple. Shelf lives, you should know that, we have just done it. 12 to 24 months sealed, 6 months most when opened. Contraindications then. When we do the proper training treatment modules, we'll talk about this again, but fundamentally, none of the products would stop you doing a treatment unless they are A, allergic to one of those ingredients in the bottle. And remember, we have full disclosure on our ingredient list, and if you go onto our website, pinksboutique.com, look at any bottle, you'll always be able to get the full ingredient list if someone needs to check it. So many brands, start looking, never show you an ingredient list on their website. That should ring some serious alarm bells as to why they don't want to list that, and they only want to tell you their one marketable ingredient. Check they're not allergic, and the treatment then would only really be contraindicated if something is wrong with them. They can't have their manicure because they've just broken their wrist. They can't have their body massage because they've just had a stroke. All your college and normal contraindication learning. Pregnant people. Okay, so we are an essential oil-based brand, but certain of our aromas we will happily use as pregnancy blends and certain ones we discontinue. Such a grey area, such a grey area. There really is no answers, and all the things you find on Google argue with each other, and no one's ever tested it because you're not allowed to test on pregnant women. However, this is what we would do. In our body world, anything sweet orange and rose we use as our out and out pregnancy blends, and we don't use wild mint and lemongrass. Facials, we're happy using ochre and rose, and then in manicure pedicure, we use the sweet orange manicure range for hands, but we will also use it for their feet. Section 8. Please write at the top of section 8, bedtime reading. I don't want to go into this right now because A, this is already quite a long theory block for you, and B, I know that in the treatment modules, I will talk to you about these individual ingredients. All I want to say is that these are the things you should be looking out for in your bottles at home, checking whether you've got them, and from a client perspective, this little card, which is the Truth by Beauty card, should be given to every single person that has a Pinks Boutique treatment, and this has the list for them in also. So on the very back of this, it directs them either to have a look at the Pinks Boutique website, or it directs them to have a look at the EWG Skin Deep website. Make sure you have one of these in your wallet, so when you are shopping, you know what you're looking for. Please, please, please go onto the EW Skin Deep website as well. They've got 2 websites. You need to make sure it's the right one that's on this card. It's globally the biggest database of cosmetic ingredients, and it gives you toxicity ratings from 1, green, good, go, through to 10, red, avoid. And you can type in individual ingredients. You can also, if the brand's big enough, you can type in brands or their bottles, and it will give you an overall score for that bottle. It's a really useful tool to send clients to as well, because it's another third party, believable source, not just you saying don't use X because it's got nasty ingredients inside. There's this whole official medical toxicity database saying the same thing. So check that out. On your phone, they have an app called Healthy Living. So pop that on your phone and you can barcode scan as well and do the same thing from your phone. So at the top of section 8, write grey wallet card, EWG, look at website. Tell clients. We're nearly here on your school book. We're nearly at the end. On the back of section 8, you have a table telling you what to say and what not to say. We are obsessed by truth and nothing but the truth. And what I do not want you to do is get into the habit of saying, we use Pink's Boutique, it's completely organic. That's not true. We are completely certified organic, but we've got some water in some of our pots and we now know that's natural. So I would get into the habit from the off of saying all the products are certified organic. Don't go the easy route and just be as bad as all the other cheating brands where you go, it's all completely natural. All completely organic. Like, you're better than that. Let's have the full truth. Section 9 has a heart. This heart, I want you to keep coming back to throughout your training. I'm putting little notes around the edge, which are, at the core, what it means to be a Pink's Boutique therapist. For instance, I would love you to add things like attention to detail, truth, organic, putting the client at the center of every touch. Anything you or as a team you can think of which makes you a Pink's Boutique therapist and what it is all about. When you turn over, you hit some scribble pages, so you've got some spare notes pages, and then you will find more bedtime reading. I really don't want you to go to sleep, do I? So the very rest of this school book is really some additional reading and reference for you through to where the awards are, and that is for you just to peruse at your leisure. I would imagine during all the treatment training we will cover most of it, but I like to make sure that everything is there in text for you as well. So this one is the school book. It is about Pink's Boutique, why we came into being, helping you navigate organic and natural, which I really think you should go onto our YouTube channel and look at the Organic Truth playlist, because there'll be more videos to support that as well. Lots of bedtime reading and the kind of core concepts of how you want your clients to start thinking about this, about the elite nature of organic, the link to food and well-being and the green, clean movement and how you can be part of that, and incredible treatments, which is the bit we need to get you to next. Awesome. I'll see you soon.